You're here because you're wondering, what is this emotionally charged connection all about? Your ECC, your emotionally charged connection, is a powerful way to connect with people, to inspire them to want to be a part of your world. And I have a video from one of the last live presentations I did pre-COVID where we talk about the emotionally charged connection. So let's go to it. Is with what we call your emotionally charged connection. Your ECC, sometimes we'll call it for short, your emotionally charged connection. We also will call this your why. This is your story. This is what drives you. This is what inspires others to want to be a part of your world. And instead of going through a lot of like, here, let me tell you what it is, what it isn't, let me give you a lot of details, would it be okay if I shared with you, here's my emotionally charged connection, here's what lights me up. I'm not quite on fire, but here's what lights me up to get to do what I do. As you can see, there's a lot going on with the emotionally charged connection. As I share my story, think about how you connect with it. What are you hearing? What's resonating with you? So I actually didn't know I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Did any of you know you wanted to own your own business growing up? You're like, yes, I want to do it. I actually was in school. I was studying biology. I wanted to do genetic research, genetic engineering. And I was really excited about that. And then I figured out the years in school that it would take, the dollars involved, all of that stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be a business major. So I got my business degree, got out there, got that first real job, fell in love with, being an adult. Things were going really great. Until March of 2003, two things happened that dramatically impacted me being here where I am today. The first, that job that I had, the career that I was loving, board of directors got together, did some restructuring of the organization, and guess what was left at the end? Not me. My position was gone. So they very nicely offered me a severance package or a demotion. The other thing that happened that March of 2003, my mom, who had been battling with breast cancer for the previous 17 months, was given a terminal diagnosis and maybe a couple weeks left to live. So I took the severance package because it gave me the opportunity to spend each and every single day with my mom. Now, if she wasn't feeling great, she was at hospice at home, and I'd just crawl into bed with her, and we'd watch judge shows for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes she would feel better, and we would, come out. She'd come sit at the kitchen table. We'd do crossword puzzles, have lunch. There was this one day, it was this gorgeous day up in Charlotte, North Carolina, blue skies, it wasn't too hot or humid, and she wanted to go on a walk. So we loaded her into the wheelchair, had to get the double oxygen tanks because that's what she had to do. Just all kinds of stuff, pushing her around the neighborhood. Now, Charlotte isn't like Tampa. Tampa's flat. Charlotte has hills. So pushing up the hill, oh my gosh, ready to die. But it was fine because by the time you get to the top of the hill, I just jump on the back of the wheelchair and it was like, whee! And we just flew down the hill. And we were able to spend each and every day together. And you know how sometimes they say people hang on for that special day? She did. She hung on for almost 3.5 months, and we had the opportunity to celebrate her 47th birthday. So we had a huge party, invited all of her friends over, had a celebration. She went to sleep the next day and never woke up. And I was like, okay, I've lost my mom, my best friend. I don't have a job. What am I going to do with my life? And there was a friend of the family, Jackie, and she had the opportunity to come over like 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, 4 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, where everybody else came over in the evenings and the weekends. Why? Because they had to work. I'm like, I don't want to work like that. I'm like, you own your own business. I want to own my business. This is awesome. So I picked up, moved to Florida, and started my own business. And what I found is just because you have a business doesn't mean you have any business. And I spent the next 2 years cold calling. And I'm good at it, but I hate doing it. I found networking, or networking found me. And it was like the skies parted, the sun came through. Like, oh my gosh, there's a room full of people here to pass me referrals. This is awesome. And I started networking, and I was able to go cold calling, which is brilliant. But I was getting busier, busier, busier. And it got to the point where, my grandparents would call and say, hey, you want to come over for breakfast? I can't. I've got to work. My aunt would call and say, hey, you want to do Sunday Fun Day? I can't. I've got to work. My friends Chris and Stacy would call, hey, you want to play rock band? I can't. I've got to
work. And all of a sudden, this freedom and flexibility I wanted as an entrepreneur turned into a 24/7 all the time, it seemed like, job. I get up in the morning, have my cereal while I'm checking emails, meetings, lunch meetings. My husband would drag me away from my computer for dinner, and then I grab the computer to answer invoices, create artwork, send email, all that stuff I need to do. I go to bed, dream about all the stuff I didn't do and still needed to do, and wake up the next morning exhausted because I'd worked all night. Any of you ever had that happen? Any of you, that was last night? Sorry. and I got into the point where I was just working all the time. And then I took the Ignite Your Business program. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a better way to do this. And I suddenly got my life back. And so what I realized today is I work with people to help them create the life they desire. We don't know what's going to happen in 3.5 weeks, 3.5 months, 3.5 years. We've got to make the most of it today. And my goal is to help as many people create the amazing business and spectacular life that they want. And that's why I do what I do.
Thank you for letting me take the opportunity to share. Now, sometimes people will say, how long typically do you want your emotionally charged connection to be? I'll talk to you more about that after we get some responses from the people in the audience.
What are you thinking in hearing that? What's kind of going through your head?
It makes me want to do business with you.
Oh, thank you. So the goal, part of the goal of the emotionally charged connection is to have people wanting to do business with you. What else did you think in hearing that?
Inspiration.
Inspiration?
Yeah, it's genuine.
It's genuine. Yeah, here's the thing. I think we all have a story. We all have something that drives us. And if we're communicating with people in this world in a way of, here's who I am and what really drives me, what I believe, I think it will connect you with people in a way that is different than just saying, I'm a, insert your profession here. Because if I said to you, I'm a speaker, author, facilitator, coach, it's like Charlie Brown's teacher, right? And some of you are giving me looks like, yeah. It's just a different way to look at it. And it's a powerful way to connect with people. And so to me, one of the things that's really crucial in creating referral success is sharing with people your why. Now, if you've got it, brilliant, share it. This is one of the 10 modules of Ignite Your Business. We spend one module just on this topic because it's so crucial. And we have a whole exercise that's really fun to go through to help you come up with your story and how do you articulate it.
Okay, we've seen a little bit about the emotionally charged connection can be all about. Let's hear this success.
And speaking of stories, we like success stories. So emotionally charged connection, Ruby Lake. So Ruby took the program last year, and she's an estate planning attorney, and she was sitting down and meeting with a funeral home director that does like the prepaid sales. And she said it had been about 45 minutes into the meeting, and it just felt like we weren't clicking. Have any of you ever sat down with a potential referral source and it just felt like it wasn't clicking? So she said, Tiffanie, I don't know that I really wanted to do it, but I heard your voice in the back of my head. That starts to happen, sorry. And I'm like, okay, Tiffanie would think I should share my ECC. So it goes from like, I don't feel like we're clicking, and the result for her, from this one funeral home director, over 3 months, she was able to get 12 referrals from the one referral source. What would your business be like if you had one referral source that was able to pass you 12 referrals over the next 3 months? Okay, for some of you, your business would like explode because that's, some of you just need 2 or 3 referrals a year, right? Depending on your business. How many of you, though, 1 referral a week for the next 12 weeks from one person would be pretty cool? What if we multiplied that by 4 referral sources or 8 referral sources? Some of you are going to need to hire lots and lots of help, huh? Or you're going to be retired soon. Yay!
Hopefully you have a vision of what this emotionally charged connection could be for you. Now, I mentioned earlier, how long would we want our emotionally charged connection to be? And I think that depends on the circumstances when you're sharing. My full length, like full-fledged emotionally charged connection is, typically between 8 and 10 minutes. And I say typically because I don't actually have it written out, scripted, where I'm delivering it the exact same way each and every time. No, to me, we want it to come from the heart. So I share kind of where I'm feeling. Like you'll see the similar components, but sometimes it needs to be shorter. So that version was about 4 minutes long. Now I was doing a 2-hour presentation. So I felt I was afforded the 4 minutes to get into the details. If I'm doing a presentation for a networking group and I've only got 8 or 10 minutes, I might deliver that story in 2 or 3 minutes. And if I'm at a networking event and somebody said, hey, Tiffanie, why do you do what you do? What drives you? Then I'm going to pull out my, I call it my Twitter version. So that's my 30 to 45 second version. So I think you have like the unabridged version, the abridged version, the Cliff Notes version, and the Twitter version when it comes to your emotionally charged connection. And you just have to gather in the conversation how long you want to spend on that conversation. Know that the more details that you give people, the more that they have to grasp to connect with you. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of what is the emotionally charged connection. Now, do know, so my second book, Knock the Socks Off Your Audience, that was one of my reasons for creating this book, because I really wanted to get that emotionally charged connection down. And out of the 150 pages of the book, about a quarter of it is dedicated to this emotionally charged connection conversation. Also know that we cover this in Asentiv's Ignite Your Business. So Ignite Your Business, 10 modules. This is one full module of the program. It's that important. When it comes to training your network, to me, your emotionally charged connection, your why, is the number one thing that you want to be sharing with people, because it will connect them to you, and that will help develop stronger relationships, which will help you make more money, save more time, and have more fun. Happy networking, y'all.